Hi everyone, just a quick heads up before this episode starts. The audio isn't as high quality as usual, but I still want you to listen in because you do not want to miss the gems in this episode. So tune in, my apologies for the audio, and enjoy.
You are listening to the $1 Million Coach Business Podcast with Amanda Karlstad, episode number 265.
Welcome to the $1 Million Coach Business Podcast, a show for coaches who are ready to up-level their business and take their impact, leadership, and results to $1 million level and beyond. If you're ready to break through your limitations and start taking powerful action and become the seven-figure version of you that your business needs in order to grow, scale, and thrive, this show is for you. I'm your host, Amanda Karlstad, master coach, high-level business mentor and advisor, master intuitive, and business growth and scaling expert. Let's get down to business.
Hello and welcome, everyone. How are you? I hope you're well. I am looking out the window and it is snowing. We are experiencing our first snowfall today, which is crazy that that's where we're at. So anyways, I just wanted to share that little insight for you. The other thing that I want to say is that as I sat down to record today's episode number 265, I have to tell you all, that number kind of blew me away as I sat down and started to record today's podcast. I did the math, and that is over 5 years that I have been releasing this podcast, that I have been having these conversations with you, delivering this content, and really putting a lot of my heart and soul into these episodes. And it is such an honor to bring you these conversations, these teachings, these tools, these resources, the strategies, and to have built this community of loyal listeners. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for tuning in each and every week. Thank you for sharing this show with others. Thank you for those of you that have rated and have reviewed this show, for all of the amazing feedback that you've sent in, that we've gotten along the way. It truly is an honor. And it's just something that I am really proud of. So I wanted to take a second and to acknowledge this milestone. It feels like a bit of a milestone today before we dive in. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to have a real conversation, which I always have a real conversation with you. I hope you know that. But today we are going to talk about something really important. And it's been something that has come up recently in a lot of different ways. And I feel really compelled to have this conversation with all of you today. So what I want to talk to you about is a truth that I have experienced myself in my own business. It's a truth that I have witnessed after coaching hundreds of clients through my mastermind programs. It is a truth that I have witnessed with so many in this industry. And it's something that we spend a lot of time on as we are coaching and advising our clients, whether or not we are explicitly coaching on it or whether or not we're explicitly advising clients on this. It's something that I have observed in working with also so many leaders in this industry that I just feel is a really important conversation, especially given the time that we're at. So that is what it really takes to grow a 6, a 7, a multi-7, an 8-figure business in this industry, in the online coaching, consulting, expert industry that I think we can all agree that we've seen some shifts in the industry. We've seen some big shifts, especially in the past couple of years, where we're experiencing, in some of those cases, the effects of those shifts. I want to just have a very transparent conversation with all of you today that I do think whether you're feeling those shifts to a high level in your business right now, or maybe you're really not feeling the effects of those shifts, I think there definitely is a spectrum to this. I think it's really important to also acknowledge what it is that we're making these shifts mean. And in particular, I will speak for myself, and I can tell you for my experience with my clients, the truth is that the effects, for the most part, are not being felt as heavy as I see sometimes they are being felt outside of the containers in the industry overall. So while I think it is important to acknowledge the shifts, the market is always evolving. Things are always evolving. We're evolving as humans each and every day. So I do think on a macro level, we are in a time where even more so now today, our society has gone through and is currently going through massive accelerated changes in so many different ways. Just as humans, I think we're all feeling the energy of this. I know for myself, I'm feeling it in new and different ways. And so I think it's important to acknowledge the energy that you might be feeling right now, whether that's related to what's happening in our economy or what's happening in the political climate, whether it's what's happening in the world at large. And it's also all of the personal things that we as business owners, as parents, as all of the things that we're navigating just on a personal level each and every day. I think we can all agree that the energy is just a little bit more intense. And I also know that for all of you listening, that even despite all of that, it also doesn't diminish your desire to grow and scale a highly profitable $1 million and beyond business. And that's what I really want to encourage you with today. And so with that, I will say that I've been reflecting lately, and I say this a lot, but I really truly mean this, that there has never been a better time to grow and scale a 7-figure and beyond coaching business than right now in this moment. And when I think about the work that I get to do with my clients, when I think about the work that my clients do in their businesses, how they work with their clients, when I think about the importance of coaching to humans, to the human experience of life, to mental health, to physical health, to our careers, I've just been reflecting a lot lately how I truly do believe that every human in some form could benefit from coaching. Now, I'm not saying that every human should engage in a coaching container. That's not what I'm saying here. But really, if we pull back and zoom out, the truth is that every adult human in some way could actually benefit from good coaching, especially given all that we're navigating as humans right now. It is vitally important. And so my belief is that coaching is some of the most important work that we can do. I've been saying this since I launched my business way back. And it's frankly part of the reason that I do the work that I do. So I can help my clients get their work out into the world in a much bigger way, where they can have real impact in their own communities. So they can bring their brilliance to the world to help humans to positively impact their clients and those around them. I don't take it lightly that the work as coaches that we do is very, very important, and that the ripple effect of this work is huge. And so right now, more than ever, it might not feel like this for you right in this moment, but I promise you it is easier than ever to grow a business. And at the same time, it is easier than ever to get distracted, to get off track, to go, quote unquote, off-roading, as I like to say to my clients, where you veer off course, where you might have been focused on, for example, launching a certain program, or maybe you put weeks or months into launching that program and for it not to get quite the results that you'd wanted. Or maybe you're really wanting to scale your business and you're really looking to take it from that 200,000 or 250,000 mark and double it to that 500 mark and really be on the path to $1 million business within very easily the next couple of years. And you also realize that in order to do that, you're also going to have to do very different things. Because I talk about this a lot, but what you did to get to your first 100,000, your first 200,000 is very different from what you will need to do to grow to your first million. And what happens a lot of times at this level is you become kind of unsure of what to even focus on or what the next steps might be. And you end up kind of throwing a lot of things out and hoping it works. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's coming up with a new program and throwing it out there, but it's not really having a real strategy behind it. It's not slowing down long enough to really think through what is the end game, to really properly strategize, and then really think about the systems and the messaging and really all of the belief work that then needs to be done to adequately really sell that program. And so what I see happen so often is that so many coaches at this level, and a lot of times this is a very, very unconscious thing and they don't recognize it and it's very hard to catch, which is why it's so important to be in a coaching container where your coach can catch this. But what happens is you very quickly start to go off course and you end up slowing your own growth in the process. You slow down the growth of your business because you're jumping from thing to thing. And while it might feel like a bit of relief in the moment where maybe you were even able to get a quick cash injection in your business, maybe you go out and you make some good money. And while you might launch a new offer and make the money on the short term, the truth is that a truly sustainable business, a truly profitable $1 million coaching business is actually going to look very different. It's actually going to be a much more streamlined business. It's going to have typically one, maybe two flagship, irresistible home run offers that is exactly aligned with what your clients want and also with what they need to achieve their desired results. It is going to be very specific and very specialized in solving the biggest and the most painful problem that your most ideal clients want solved, to the problem that your clients, not only do they most want it to be solved, but they also are willing to pay for that solution, and they also have the resources to pay for that solution. And so I'm sharing all of this with you because what I'm seeing a lot today, especially, it's kind of built up over the past year. And I think this really comes from social media more often than not. This is where I see it happening the most, is that there tends to be a lot of examples, or there's even messaging, there's even programs that are created around, creating a lot of different things, a lot of different offers, a lot of different price points. And frankly, whenever I see this, even if I just put my coaching hat off to the side and just look at it from a consumer standpoint, I will tell you in probably 10 out of 10 examples, I'm confused. And it's not because I can't understand what it might be. It's because we have to realize that we live in a time where our attention spans are literally less than a goldfish. In fact, there was a study done recently that apparently proved this. If you want to look it up, you can. But it's a really important point that I want to encourage all of you to think about. Because if this is actually true, which I'm going to assume that it is because I did hear this from various different sources, combined with the volume of information that is coming at each and every one of us every single day. And I'm going to share this with you. I heard another statistic just recently that also blew me away that said on average, we are presented with anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 ads every day. And I'm not just talking about like Facebook ads on your Instagram feed. I want you to think about this is taking into consideration ads on all of the traditional media sources, things like TV, things like the radio, all of our digital platforms, social media, search engines, websites. If you really think about this, it's probably very true. We are all seeing anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 ads on a given day. That blew me away. But I also see the truth in that. I'm also not saying here that there's anything bad with advertising your business on social media platforms, things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, all of those. That's not what I'm saying here at all. In fact, I actually believe very much the opposite. But what I want you to understand here is that if we look at all of these pieces, so if we have less than a few seconds that we know that it's been proven that we can first get someone's attention, that we then have the challenge of then holding the attention of someone who may be looking at our services. And we combine that with the volume of ads that we're being proven we are all seeing on a daily basis, the volume of information just outside of the ads even, combined with all of the things happening on a macro level in our world and the energy with that, combined with all of the things that we're juggling on a personal level, don't you think it's pretty important that in the 1 to 3 seconds that we might have, that we also are very clear, that we are creating clarity around how we're helping our clients? And that's not to mention if you're relying just on social media. And so I'm going to give you some more data. The recent data tells us that, and we all know this, but that only a very small percentage of your followers will even see any of your posts that you're making. So whether you're doing those reels, whether you're doing, whatever strategies or tactics you're using, the truth is that the algorithm will only show that content to a small percentage of your audience. And so the most recent figure that I heard, and again, I didn't fact check this before the podcast, but it was something around like only 4%. So if you think about that, let's say you have 1,000 followers on your Instagram account. And within those 1,000 followers, if we're being honest, there's also a good percentage of those followers who are probably family members, who are probably friends and family at best. And so for the posts that you make today, for instance, as the current algorithm works, you might have on average about 40 of those 1,000 people who, again, may or may not even be your ideal clients that even see the message that you put out that day, that are essentially, if we consider the human nature, we consider human beings and what they use social media for, they're probably actually passively scrolling on the app. They're probably doing it from a place where we could call it buffering, where they're numbing out to a degree. And so the truth is that they might see your post. It might show up in their feed. They might even engage in the post. And it's also very likely that they're probably going to keep scrolling because the intent that they have with just where they're at is that they're probably looking to be more entertained. They're looking to buffer. They're looking to numb out to a degree. This is really, really, really important to understand because even if that person has the problem that you actually solve, even if you can solve it for them. And with that, I want to say here, I'm not saying that social media doesn't have its place. I believe social media can be very powerful, and I do believe that it has its place. But I also want to be very real with all of you about what real growth requires, what real sustainability, what real profitability, what high revenue actually requires in our current market. And also, there is a reality that as a coach who has a desire to grow $1 million and beyond business, as I know all of you do, it's also very important to know and be very specific about your expertise, about the expertise that you bring to your clients, that you bring to your programs, that you bring to the work that you do with your clients. And so it's very critical that if you consider all that I just shared with you, all of the data, all of the things that are coming at us, what's happening in our world, all the things that we're juggling personally, I hope you can understand how important it is to be able to effectively articulate very clearly the result that you help your clients achieve in your marketing. and that you also have a very real and a very viable way to be able to then get that message out and get that message out in front of the right people consistently. And ideally, this is happening every day, all day, and this is happening continuously. So again, I'm sharing all of this with you today because you've likely heard before that when it comes to online marketing, when it comes to online business, you're competing for attention. And I will tell you, the truth is that now more than ever, you absolutely are. And also, at the same time, we're in a moment where we've never had the ability and the tools to also simultaneously reach people anywhere in the world. And I say this a lot, and my hope is that the power of this isn't lost in this conversation. But even if you look back a decade ago, if you look at what even 2014, if we just go back to 2014, if you really consider where you were at in 2014, whether or not you were in your business or not at that time. I personally wasn't yet in my business at that time, but I can tell you in my corporate career, I can tell you from a marketing standpoint, I can tell you from a sales standpoint that things were different. There was still a lot of competition. There was still a lot of things that we had to overcome, but we didn't have the tools that we have today. We were kind of just coming onto the scene with a lot of these things. And so I hope you really understand how much opportunity there is for you right now in this moment to create the success that you want, to grow a high revenue and a high profit business that also at the same time truly impacts the world. And this conversation is also about the realness of what the market is going to demand of you in order to do that, to what your business is also going to demand of you and probably is demanding of you in this moment. And I will say that it's also amazing. It's an amazing thing to be in the game of this, to be able to be in the journey of growing a business like this exactly right now in this space and time. That you can do this just like myself and so many of my clients, essentially on a part-time basis. And you can also be a very present parent. You can also maintain good balance in your life. You don't have to burn yourself out in the process. You can create real impact and real legacy with your work. But it's going to require the things I've talked about. It's going to require new levels of you, new levels of self-leadership, new levels of skill when it comes to marketing and sales and building a foundation in your business. It's going to require new levels of clarity, what you're building, who you're helping, how you're helping them, how to articulate that specificity in your messaging, the consistency, ensuring that this is happening on a consistent basis each and every day. And so I wanted to just have this really raw, real conversation with all of you today because I'm really just proud as I reflect on the work that we do with our clients to really help them do all of this in their businesses, to help them build this into their businesses where we're digging deep on all of the things where day in and day out, we're creating $1 million programs, where we're creating marketing systems and sales systems and process systems in their businesses and helping them to really expand and support them in stepping into and furthering their own thought leadership, where we're refining those messages each and every day. We're uncovering those $1 million messages that I call it, where we're building and setting up the business in a way that works for your lifestyle, that is optimized at the same time to get your clients the best results, where marketing and sales systems are being built and refined so that it allows you as the CEO to truly step into your true leadership, to lead the business forward in a new way, where we help clients step into and create more possibility than ever before. So my friends, you have a real opportunity right now in this moment. If you're ready to go big in 2025, if you're ready to finally get on the path to multiple 6, 7, multi-7 figures and beyond, then now is the time. Join us inside of the $1 Million Mastermind if you've already reached that 6-figure mark or beyond, and you're truly ready to scale. And if you're working to hit that first 6 figures, I want to invite you to join my mastermind program. This is my high-level coaching program for coaches that are needing to establish their foundation and have already created some success in their business, but they're really ready to break through. So go ahead, click on either the link in the show notes of this episode or go to my website at amandakarlstadcoaching.com, fill out the application, set up a call. I would love to have a conversation and talk about how to get you on the path to 7 figures in 2025 and beyond. 2025 is going to be an amazing year. Let's make it an amazing year. All right, everyone, let's go. I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the $1 Million Coach Business Podcast. If you're ready to step into the $1 million version of yourself and scale your business to 6, multi-6, or 7 figures and beyond, go to amandakarlstadcoaching.com.